Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new episode of the South Central Louisiana State Mud Dogs. Today we are kicking off Season 3 of this Teambuilder Dynasty with FCS coming into our very own mud bog. But before I get into that, it is my pleasure to announce two custom recruits that we will try to bring in for Season 3 during the recruiting process. First person on screen is Aaron Beach. He's a little bit of an undersized safety, but this kid definitely has heart. He is definitely meant to be a leader by all stretches of the imagination. Isn't the fastest kid on the field, doesn't really excel at too much stuff, but he does have good awareness for a freshman, which is nice to see, and has some decent ball skills, has a 76 catching, which is not bad for a free safety. So if he can get into a position, he can get a good number of picks. Coverage, is okay, and has some decent stamina to go with it as well going forward. But this is Aaron Beach in a nutshell. And then the other person that I want to talk about that is also going to be a custom recruit for Season 3 is Bishop Enigma. He is a wide receiver hailing out of Rochester, New York. Going to be coming in as a freshman whenever his last year of high school is done. He's not too terribly muscular, but he's 6'5", 220 pounds, so he looks like he has the makings to be a red zone target for whoever decides to sign him. Hopefully that's going to be us down the road. And this is Bishop Enigma's physical stats, but let's get into some of his attributes. Does rock the nice Revo speed free bar, running back kind of helmet, and he has some decent speed. He's got that 85 speed, which is not bad for a wide receiver by any stretch of the imagination. But everything else is it's okay. He does have a really high carry rating of 90, which is really cool to see, but his catching numbers leaves a little bit more to be desired. Definitely needs to work on the hands a little bit, but overall it's a nice receiver to have, and definitely has a lot of potential, particularly in the red zone once we get those catching numbers up, if we do sign him, of course. But as for what these teams are looking at, Bishop Enigma is looking at right now his top 3 schools is Oregon State, Washington, and Michigan State, but we're going to go ahead and try to sign him since he does have a, his matches is pretty nice. And then as for the other custom recruit in Aaron Beach, he's the number 77 overall prospect with that 79 overall, number 2 free safety in the country, and right now his top 3 choices are Michigan, Ohio State, and USC. So definitely some really nice schools that he's looking like, as he's considered the best player in all Canada. And Penn State's looking at him as well, but I think we have a chance to go and grab him as well. We definitely could use a free safety with Shad Giffords eligibility running out here shortly, so it's definitely need to get his replacement. I think Aaron Beach can definitely be that guy for us. But now that we've gone through the custom recruits, it is time to get into some Mud Dogs football with the South Central Louisiana State. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Mud Bog here on South Central Louisiana State's campus. It is a rainy night down here in Louisiana, but the crowd is definitely excited for this home opener as the coin toss is slated to take place. However, we do lose it, and we'll get the ball first to start the game. However, just a couple of plays in, already facing a 3rd and 12. Stan Castillo, he's going to drop back and throw a dime to Nick Colvin that goes for a gain of 23. Next play, Stan Castillo sits in the shotgun formation. He's going to throw it out to the right-hand side to Ryan Wilson, who makes the catch and gets another first down before the Mud Dogs surprisingly move into a no-huddle offense. Just started to implement this during practice in the offseason, just to try to keep teams off balance, as Casey Bug gains 10 yards on the play, makes it a short 3rd and 2. But I'm very excited to get this no-huddle offense going. Should make our offense more explosive going forward to give ourselves a better shot against these higher level teams that we could be going up against in the future. Second and 6 though for the Mud Dogs, and Casey Bug, he is going to take the blocks up the right-hand side and nearly breaks it out for a touchdown, but that shoestring tackle stops him for just a gain of 8 yards. Sets up his 1st and 10. Stan Castillo throws a dime to Darren Joyce. Unfortunately, it is dropped, and it's going to be an incompletion, and therefore 2nd and 10. A couple of plays later, Mud Dogs are now facing a 3rd and 8, and Stan Castillo is going to be tackled well before the 1st down marker. Mud Dogs are going to have to settle for their first field goal in their very first possession of this new season. But now FCS West has the ball, and they are going to start with this read option that Ray Smith, the quarterback for the FCS team, is going to keep for a gain of 9 yards. Makes it a very short 2nd and 1. However, Ray Smith is driven right back in the backfield by Dan Fine, who makes his first tackle, and it goes for a loss. Sets up a 3rd and 4 here, unfortunately. Mathis is going to get the 1st down, and he's going to get a lot more than that as he breaks multiple tackles from Mud Dogs defenders. Gives the FCS West visiting team a new set of downs to work with. Fresh 1st and 10. Grant Hartman is going to take the carry right up the gut for a gain of 8 yards on the play, making it 2nd and 2. I almost said 2nd and 10 for some reason, but it's really 2nd and 2. However, quarterback Ray Smith, he has all day to throw his ball, but runs right into his own offensive lineman, and the Mud Dogs are eventually able to rally to the ball, make it a 3rd and 5. Definitely gotta love that kind of AI logic. Although this time around, Ray Smith on the 3rd and 5, he's gonna run outside of the tackles and picks up the 1st down. However, it looks like there is a clipping penalty on wide receiver Nick Mathis. That's going to be for 15 yards, and instead of a 1st down, we are looking at a 3rd and 8 all of a sudden. So the Mud Dogs are going to move into a man-to-man. Going to send the blitz here, and it's fumbled away, but Berg is going to be able to pick it up, and it's going to be punted away. So now we have the ball for our 2nd possession in the Mud Dogs season. And Casey Bug's going to start us off right with a 14-yard gain on the play. 1st and 10 coming off of this little no-huddle attack. Casey Bug's going to get another carry, this time weaving between multiple defenders, although he is caught from behind. Still is able to gain 27 yards, same as the number on the back of the shirt, as we are at the end of the 1st quarter already, and it's been pretty quiet so far. Only up 3-0 thus far. Do anticipate trying to get some more points on the board before this game is over, however, as they run another option attack, and Darren Joyce this time makes up a little bit for the drop pass on the 1st possession of the game. Goes for a gain of 13 yards. Next play, Stan Castillo. He's going to keep it on the read option. And you see Stan Castillo's stats flash up on the screen. This kid is definitely special. Has over 1,000 yards rushing. I think he can keep that up, but then if he can also limit his interceptions, that will definitely be very beneficial to us, as he had, I think, 16 interceptions his freshman year. So definitely need to cut the turnovers, but right now is playing smart. He isn't forcing anything just yet. He knows when he can make a play. He knows how, he knows his strengths. And speaking of strengths, there's Stan Castillo for the very first touchdown for the Mud Dogs this season. We are now up 10-0, ladies and gentlemen. 3rd and 2, though. FCS West is going to try to run a no-huddle attack here. It looks like quarterback's going to try to keep it, but is tackled at the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be a 3 and out for the Mud Dogs. So now we have the ball right back, and going to try to capitalize, get some quick points. And there was John Casey wide open up the middle, and unfortunately for us, it was incompleted, simply overthrown. Ryan Wilson, however, is going to be able to catch up to the next ball for a gain of 20 yards off of a slant, taking advantage of the FCS secondary. Really going ham on these guys early on, and it also helps when you have a quarterback that can scramble like Stan Castillo, who is able to gain 15 yards on the ground using that 89 speed. First and 10. Tim Smith is going to try to make the catch here, but unfortunately it's dropped once again. Been a little difficult so far in the first half for a passing offense, with Stan Castillo only 4 for 7 as Casey Bug catches the halfback screen that only goes for a couple yards, and once again we have to settle for another field goal. It is a little concerning early on that we were kind of struggling in terms of finishing drives off, but right now the defense is playing extremely well. It has held them to a shutout thus far with 3.5 minutes left in the first half, but gotta focus on this drive. Hopefully I didn't just jinx our football team, but as looks like Ray Smith is able to get an easy first down on the ground using his legs. A couple of plays later, 2nd and 11 for the FCS Fusion. Halfback is going to go into the motion, and looks like it's actually a play fake, but Shad Gifford is there to deflect the ball away. He's having a really nice game himself with 4 tackles, and that's his first deflection of the ball game. Next play, Ray Smith's going to drop back to pass, and there's another beautiful play by the corner, and just like that we are going to get the ball with about 2:30 left. Try to get some more points on the board, try to continue to build on the lead, as Darren Joyce this time around actually makes the catch for a gain of 8 yards on the play. 2nd and 2. Stan Castillo is in the shotgun once again, running the slants route, doesn't see anybody open right away, but sees Darren Joyce once again, who breaks the tackle but is brought down by multiple FCS West defenders for a gain of 13 yards on the play, making it another easy first down. Speaking of first down, Stan Castillo is going to drop back, throws a dart to John Casey, who was able to hold on to it for a gain of 19 yards, and your Mud Dogs are driving up the field using that no huddle offense that has been completely instilled in this system now, year 3 under head coach Henry Klein. 2nd and 1. Going to drop back the pass, throw it up the middle to Nate Colvin, but is not able to catch up to it. And it's going to be a 3rd and 1 instead. Going to play it safe here on his next play. Going to go with the old reliable in the read option, in which Casey Bug is going to hold on to it for a gain of 9 yards for the first down, as Stan Castillo reorganizes the troops and gets it out to Ryan Wilson quickly for a nice 19-yard gain, just about inside the 10, on the verge of being on the goal line, as Stan Castillo calls a quick audible to get the play up at the line. And Stan Castillo, he's going to try to run it in, but is stopped a few yards short, but it's still a 2nd and 4 that the Mud Dogs will have on their next play. So here we go with the read option once again, and this time Casey Bug is met at the end zone but is able to push through, and that is a 20-0 lead. So the Mud Dogs are looking fantastic so far, and then on top of that we were able to get a 3 and out and march down the field for this extremely long field goal for Derek Wallace. Was able to make it extremely easily. So now going into halftime, we are up 23-0. However, FCS West Fusion will get the ball to start second half. Alright, so it is a brand new half for Mud Dogs football, as FCS West is going to start with the ball for their first possession of the second half, and it's a pretty solid play as Ben Gorman is able to gain 8 yards on the very first play of the second half, which means Ray Smith, he's going to keep it, and he has blockers. Only Bobby Boucher is in the vicinity, but I don't think he's going to be able to catch him. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, the shutout is finally over, as the Mud Dogs defense has allowed the first points of the 3rd season of the South Central Louisiana State Dynasty. And then to top it off, 2-point conversion is successfully converted by Joe Flynn, making it a 23-8 game all of a sudden. Season 2 custom recruit in Sammy Graf, who did decide to play at South Central Louisiana State, gets her first touch of her collegiate career, and it is a 32-yard return, giving the Mud Dogs some fantastic field position. Really nice to have her as a custom recruit on this squad. However, a couple of plays later, we do throw that interception, so that's deeply unfortunate. 2nd and 13 though. A couple of plays after the interception. Ryan Miller is going to drop back, get it to Mathis, who gains 9 yards and nearly picks up the first down. It's going to be a small 3rd and 4 coming right up. Next thing you know, Hartman's going to take it up the gut and just barely makes it to the first down marker. Gain of 5. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, FCS West is trying to make this a ball game. As Ray Smith, he's going to run up the gut himself, pick up another first down. Had a couple of opportunities to get this offense off the field, but it looks like they just might be able to make this a ball game out of a sudden, with this being 3rd and 7. However, quarterback throws it short to Nick Mathis and is unable to get to the first down marker, which means FCS West will settle for a field goal. Oh no, wait a minute, I was wrong. They are going for it on 4th down, and Ray Smith is unable to complete the pass, and so the Mud Dogs defense steps up and prevents FCS West Fusion from getting any points whatsoever. First play though, John Casey, he's going to get the reception, and there is nobody able to catch him. He's at the 15, the 5, touchdown the Mud Dogs. As that, ladies and gentlemen, is a 91-yard touchdown pass, one of the longest touchdown passes in Mud Dogs history. Mud Dogs are now up 30-8. How's the momentum change? It looked like for a minute that FCS Fusion was actually going to make this a ball game, but just like that, ladies and gentlemen, it is a 3-possession game, as now Ryan Wayne picks up 23 yards off a filthy stiff arm. Actually, I was actually really impressed by the stiff arm. New set of downs though for FCS West, as Hartman is going to take the carry, go up the left-hand side. It's going to go for a 12-yard gain on the play. 3rd and 13 though, a couple of plays after the first down, and Ray Smith's going to drop back to pass, but he doesn't have time to think. He just dumps it off to Grant Hartman, and FCS West is going to have to settle for the field goal. So it's 32-11 now, as Stan Castillo, he's going to keep it on the read option and gets it at just about the first down marker before the Mud Dogs go ahead and move into their no-huddle offense that they just instilled during the offseason. Tim Smith, not to be confused with Ray Smith, makes the catch for 10 yards, his very first catch of the day for a first down. Next thing you know, Casey Bug, he's breaking a tackle before he gets put down by the safety. Respectable 5-yard gain on the way. Allows us to stay on schedule, of course, as Mud Dogs are facing a 2nd and 5, which should have been easily completed, but just a little bit off rhythm there on the throw. So now instead of the first down, we have this 3rd and 5 all of a sudden. And Stan Castillo, he is in the shotgun. He's looking to his right. He doesn't see anybody, so he's just going to run for it and gets the easy first down off the 9-yard run. Cheerleaders are definitely excited about it. And going into the 4th quarter, nothing really to see here, as we are winning this. We are winning 30-11 going into the final quarter of play. All right, so here we are in the 4th quarter, and to start things off, Stan Castillo, he's going to run it up the right-hand side for a gain of 11 yards on the play for an easy first down. Then we move into the no huddle, in which is thrown right up the middle to Darren Joyce, who is able to gain 13 yards on the play for another first down. Mud Dogs are looking really nice on this drive. Ryan Wilson, 7-yard catch, makes it a 2nd and 3, which is going to go to our star tailback in Casey Bug. And he has a nice lane and is nearly in the end zone, but looks like he's going to be stopped just short. Looks like it's at about the 1-yard line. And then we're going to just go ahead and punch it in for the easy touchdown. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are up 37-11 for this ball game. But the FCS Fusion are not going to give up just yet. Ray Smith is going to drop back. He's going to go ahead and scramble right away. And he actually gets a pretty good gain on the play for a gain of 21 yards. Ray Smith is definitely a pretty accurate quarterback that we need to continue to spy on. But next play here, Matthew Nichols gets absolutely blown up for a gain of 7 on the play. Don't know if it's worth it though, but they do end up picking the first down next play. Very next play though, Ray Smith is going to drop back to pass. He looks to his left hand side and tries to connect, looks like with Ryan Mathis again, but this time just quite can't get his hands on it. Ends up dropping the pass in this rain, making it 2nd and 10. Next play though, Ray Smith is going to try to drop back, but he's going to scramble here, but he's sacked for a loss of 4 yards as Bobby Boucher is able to get into his backfield and get his very first sack of the season, which leads to a Joe Thompson interception. It is only returned for a few yards, but that is the first turnover for this Mud Dogs defense this entire season. So really excited to at least even up the turnover battle, even though that's not really that important for us, as Ryan Wilson makes the 15-yard catch on the play. Mud Dogs at this point are just trying to run out the clock here as Casey Bug takes the carry up the gut for a gain of 10 yards on the play, making it 3rd and 2. As we're only approaching the last few minutes of the game, and you know, we're just trying to make sure nobody gets too terribly hurt at this point. We gain 5 yards. Don't need to reinvent the wheel essentially, but we do try to get some junk points as Sammy Graf gets her very first carry of her collegiate career that goes for 5 yards, and then we'll go ahead and hit the field goal, which means your Mud Dogs are going to come away with a 40-11 win. Definitely nice that we were able to play our opener right here at home, and we looked pretty good in the openers. Definitely the best opener that we've had throughout this series. Definitely need to work on our red zone execution a little bit, but other than that, I really loved how this team played overall. So checking out the stats for today's game, Stan Castillo was the only quarterback in. He was 16 for 24, throwing 284 yards, a single touchdown, and the ill-advised pick. But other than that, the man did have a really solid game, working with at 66% in terms of completions. Stan also led the team in carries. He had 19 carries today, ended up going 108 yards on the ground as well, picking up a rushing touchdown with a long of 21 yards. Casey Bug also had 16 carries for 120 yards and a couple touchdowns, and Sammy Graf, the custom recruit from Season 2, had 1 carry for 5 yards. As for the receivers, didn't throw the ball too terribly much, so not too much to see here. Ryan Wilson did lead us today with 5 catches for 73 yards. Only had the 1 drop, so he's definitely been working on the hands over the course of the season. However, John Casey, the JUCO transfer from Florida, it picks up the only touchdown pass caught on the day. He had 2 catches for 110 yards over the course of today's game. Finally, for our defense was led by Shad Gifford, who made his collegiate debut today, is able to garner 9 tackles, 8 of them were solo, and then he also had that tackle for a loss as well. Jonathan Miller, Bobby Boucher, and Bruce Terrell each had 1 sack, which means we had 3 total sacks over the course of today's day, which is pretty solid. And then Joe Thompson had the only interception of the entire, well, not the entire game, but the only turnover for our team that ended up being returned for 11 yards. So definitely nice to have Joe Thompson on the squad. Alright, so looking at the coaching upgrades, we did get a coaching upgrade as well. And I think I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the opener so we can get some more points allocated to our recruits as we try to continue to build a fantastic squad. But other than that, that's all I have for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this video. Make sure you leave a like, as well as hit that subscribe button if you're brand new, because I would truly appreciate that. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.